Welcome to 4 Keys to a Healthy Gut. I'm Dr. Karen, holistic health coach, and we are going to talk all about gut health. Think of the 4 R's: remove, replace, reinoculate, reset. Remember, Hippocrates says all disease begins in the gut. Know that the gut is a barometer of your overall emotional and physical health. I like to tell all my clients this, and they say, well, how could that be? Because 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our gut. 80 to 90% of serotonin, our feel-good neurotransmitter, is in the gut. And 50% of all nerve cells and neurotransmitters are in the gut. It's an amazing organ, and it deserves close attention about how to keep our gut healthy. Now, let's talk about how, even if you have a healthy gut. I share again with all of my clients the Bristol stool chart. You can find that anywhere. And I actually have a laminated copy that I share with my clients. And I ask them what type of stool they have. Type 1 is the hard lumps, like the rabbit pellets that shows very constipated. And type 7, way at the end, is loose, liquidy stool. And I cannot tell you how often I have people say, oh, I have like a liquidy stool, kind of like diarrhea, but it's normal. That is not normal. It might be normal for you, but it means that we need to really work on gut health. So what you want is a type 4. Type 4 is your ideal. It's like a smooth, overripe banana. It's squishy. It comes out easily without much effort. And that tells me that your gut is one indicator of how healthy your gut health is. So it's a really good question to ask. How is your poop? Very few people ask it, yet it gives us a great insight into how healthy the gut is, because there's this thing called leaky gut, and it's really important for us to just address this. Now, leaky gut is not literally a leaking gut, whereas you're getting diarrhea. Leaky gut happens in the small intestine. And the small intestine have these villi that are very, very tight junctions together. And when these villi aren't really tight and they're loose, it allows substances through the villi into the gut. That's called leaky gut. It's leaking into the gut, which then ultimately can leak into the bloodstream. And it's believed that this leaky gut is the root cause of inflammation and autoimmune conditions. And some of the causes of leaky gut you can see here: pathogens, undigested food. We're not chewing our food properly, so we're getting a lot of undigested food. Emotional stress, sleep deprivation, genetically modified foods, toxins. It's amazing how many things can be part of this leaky gut. So let's talk about what to do, because this is where we want to get down to practical application. The 4 R's in a functional medicine approach: remove, replace, reinoculate, repair, and reset. I put those 2 things together: repair and reset the gut. So let's dive in. Number 1, remove. So the top 4 things to remove, because this is the first step. No matter how healthy food you're putting in your body, you want to make sure that you are removing certain things when you're cleaning up your gut, so to speak. The top 4: highly processed foods. So things that don't look like food. And alcohol and caffeine, I lump those 2 things together. Dairy and environmental toxins and stress. So I have a more comprehensive list here for you, for those who want to really maybe share a list and keep it close handy so that you know. So gluten. Actually, even though most people say gluten is number 1, I actually put gluten as number 2 because I put sugar as number 1. And we're going to talk a little bit more about sugar, but gluten is found in many things. Anything that's canned or in a jar probably has gluten because it's a thickener. It's not just in bread. Some people think gluten in bread. But if you have a can or a jar of something, then it probably has gluten unless it says gluten-free. It's a preservative and a thickener. And gluten in the United States certainly has the ability to create a disturbance in our system, let's say. Now, sugar is also The ups and downs of sugar, refined sugar, and ups and downs of blood sugar can create a lot of imbalance in our body. Wheat, dairy, alcohol, caffeine, highly processed foods, white foods, except of course cauliflower and jicama, which are white foods. But white foods have probably had, like white bread, has had the fiber taken out of it. Genetically modified foods. Now, this is a really important one. Coloring, additives, preservatives, chemicals, that red and blue dye that they put in some icings, for example, all can be an irritant to the gut. And then remember, what we put on our skin gets also absorbed into our gut. So make sure that you're using very clean skin health products. So here we are talking about the gut, but we're talking about skin products. So just really want to highlight this. This would be like my top 10 list of things to start to eliminate from your diet. So sugar comes in many forms. And I just want to clarify this. A lot of people think of sugar like this, cube sugar, but guess what? Bread, processed foods like pizza, hamburger buns, and the fried chicken, cupcakes, fried foods, cereals. These all can have a lot of high glycemic sugars, and the spiking up and down of blood sugar can create some inflammation, and the hormone insulin is increased when the blood sugar goes up, and that can create a pro-inflammatory state in the body, and it can also create, of course, weight gain. And then what goes up must come down. So as soon as it spikes up, it comes down. Then you get a lot of cravings, and you get the hormone cortisol, which also has a lot of bad effects on the body. So learning to balance your blood sugar by eating low glycemic is very important to gut health. I'm here to tell you that a stable blood sugar. Now, this is not sugar-free because our body and our brain needs carbs, but it's the kind and the amount, and it's the spiking up and down that creates the damage. And carbs are not bad per se. It's the kind and the amount that we eat. So really keep that in mind. It's the spiking of blood sugar. Number two, so we did remove, now we're going to do replace. So a lot of times in our stressful environment, our digestive enzymes become deficient, and we need digestive enzymes to break down the food in our stomach so that we have less of that undigested food coming into the small intestine. So ways you can improve digestion: apple cider vinegar, a lot of people use that, some lemon water to alkalinize the body. The number one way is chewing your food. I cannot encourage you enough, and I've got some good images to remind you to chew your food every bite 20 to 30 times. And also relax when you're eating, because digestion, when you are relaxed, digestion is improved. And then, of course, replacing digestive enzymes, which is very, very helpful. Ginger and papaya, there's certainly digestive enzymes for different macronutrients, for proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And also healthier products. So replacing skincare products that might have a lot of chemicals with preservative-free, healthy skincare products is actually going to help your digestion as well. So something to really keep in mind. Now, digestive enzymes taken with every meal, I have found super, super helpful. And if you're having a particularly heavy meal or a fatty meal, then you want to take maybe 2 digestive enzymes with that meal. It can be very, very helpful. So I have a question for you. Just think about this. Where does digestion begin? In the brain. Digestion begins in the brain. So when we rush to eat, we are really not giving our body and our brain the ability to truly engage fully the digestive system. So we can relax, become more mindful. We can look at our food, pause before eating. We can listen to cues in our environment. Maybe we've got cues to say, okay, I just need to find a relaxing place here to eat. We can listen to the chewing of our food. Engage all of your senses. Digestion will be way better when you can engage all of your senses. And as I said, I'm going to give you 2 examples of images I want you to keep in mind about chewing your food, because chewing your food is the #1 digestive health tip. Because a lot of us chew and swallow, we're in a hurry. So chewing every bite 20 to 30 times. Think of a camel when he's just constantly ruminating, chewing and chewing and chewing. The other gorgeous animal that does a really good job of chewing is the panda. So think of the panda, think of the camel, and remind yourself to slow down and chew those bites. Everything. You can even chew your meal replacement shake. Liquid chewing, slowing down, helps with digestion. And #2 is smell. Take 3 deep breaths before you start eating and take in the smell of the food, the smell where you are, just relax into it. And the look, appreciate, express gratitude for the food in front of you. Often people do that. They have a little prayer before they eat, expressing gratitude for the food on the table and all the effort it took to create this beautiful meal. So chewing 25 to 30 times, smell, look, appreciate, gratitude. These are all digestive health tips. And hydrate. One of the #1 causes of that constipation, the rabbit pellets, is dehydration. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It helps with your skin complexion. It can help with your indigestion. It can support a healthy, normal weight, promotes hair, strengthens the immune system. At least 64 ounces. I like 84 ounces if you can. So it's just really important to get nice, clean, fresh water. And as you've probably heard, if you drink coffee, that's dehydrating. So that extra glass of water will replace the dehydration from coffee. That does not include the 64 ounces a day. #3, re-inoculate. Re-inoculate. We have this microbiome inside us, all of these microbes, which are fungi and bacteria, viruses that are actually performing amazing functions in our body, isn't it? It is truly amazing. The germ theory that I learned in medicine was that all germs are bad, we've got to get rid of them. And now we're saying we have germs that provide crucial metabolic processes in our body. It's a whole different paradigm. Every aspect of our health and physiology is dependent on the health of the organisms that live in us and within us and on us, because we have a skin microbiome too. It's called the microbiome. It's continually evolving. Think about it as a rainforest, that they're all providing. In a rainforest, you have all kinds of different species of plant life that all coexist together. That's what our microbiome is. So when we get an overabundance of one, it puts the whole system out of balance. So you want a very diverse microbiome for optimal gut functioning. And this intestinal, we're going to talk about the intestinal microbiome now, but we have other microbiomes too. For example, the skin microbiome. So there are 50 to 100 trillion bacteria that are part of our intestinal bacteria. And there are good and bad bacteria that can affect body weight, glucose control, appetite, mood, thinking, immune status, stress, sleep, joint health, skin health. It is absolutely amazing. It's mind-blowing, the research that's being done. So what we want to do is restore our healthy bacteria. We want to re-inoculate. And there are 2 words, prebiotics and probiotics. And there's actually postbiotics now, which I'll mention very briefly, but I want you to understand the difference between these. And here it is in a nutshell. A prebiotic is what the bacteria eat. These are not live. This is the fertilizer for the bacteria, and the #1 prebiotic is fiber. And when you have a lot of processed foods, you're eating a lot of fast foods that have very little fiber, your microbiome cannot be diverse because it doesn't have enough good things to eat. So that's the prebiotics, before. The probiotics are actually live bacteria. These are the actual microbiome. And the postbiotic are metabolites of the breakdown of the microbes. And these metabolites also have crucial functions for health. So we have prebiotics, probiotics, and postbiotics. So let's talk about prebiotic. If you remember, this is the fertilizer, the growth, and the food for the bacteria in the digestive system. And the number one prebiotic is fiber, a good, healthy fiber as a prebiotic, most important food. And a probiotic is a live bacteria that replenish the beneficial microflora. So, and I love the probiotic that you don't have to refrigerate, which is fabulous, has a long shelf life, don't have to refrigerate, so you can travel with it. So very, very great to have this particular probiotic that's in a stick pack, no refrigeration needed. It's dairy-free, sugar-free. It modulates our immune system, and it has live active cultures. So I one of these every day. And don't forget, diet influences your gut bacteria. So all this yummy veggies, the broccoli, the asparagus, the Brussels sprouts, the salads, the zucchini, these all are wonderful food for our diverse microbiome. So healthy whole foods are a great diet for a healthy microbiome. And I love this picture because it just shows us all the greens, all the different colors represents all the different nutrients that can be supplied for the microbiome compared to this, which is very devoid of color. So this would not be healthy for our microbiome because there's very little fiber in here. It's fried. So remember, food is nourishment for our microbiome that supports our body in so many crucial functions. And then there are specific probiotic foods. Different cultures have different amounts of these. So kefir, sauerkraut, kombucha, be careful though of the sugar in some of the kombuchas, natto, yogurt, but you've got to get a very clean yogurt. A lot of yogurts have a lot of sugar, so be careful. Coconut kefir, kvass, and raw cheese, just some examples of probiotic foods, because you've probably heard of those. So why do we even need probiotics? Like, can't our microbiome just, if we eat well, can't the microbiome just flourish? Well, our body has some extra stresses of living this lifestyle that we live. So sleep deprivation, stress, age, illness, antibiotics, poor diet, poor hydration, these all affect our microbiome. So I am of the belief that it is good to not only eat a whole food, healthy diet, but also to give our body that extra support with a probiotic. That's why. And number 4 in our 4 R's is repair damage and reset. But we've got to repair damage too. So repair damage. And notice the first step I have in repair damage is good quality sleep. When we sleep, all the repair and regeneration happens, and a good 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep is so important to a healthy gut. And then nutrients can repair. So you want a high quality pharmaceutical grade supplement. And how do you even decide what that is? So I highly recommend getting a copy of this. It's the NutriSearch Comparative Guide to Nutritional Supplements for the Americas. It is commissioned by the Canadian government, and it lists many, many different supplements and how they rate on a blended standard that this particular commission designed to be able to compare different products, because as you know, all products are not the same. And you want a pharmaceutical grade nutrient that's actually going to be complete and absorbable and pure and potent and safety. And how do you decide what that is? This will be a great guide for you. And remember, we're not just talking about nutrients for RDA, recommended daily allowance, that was set up 1920s to avoid acute deficiency states. We are talking about functional nutrition. So this is more to support crucial cellular processes and to promote health and support a healthy microbiome. So the nutrient amounts are going to be very different when you come from a functional nutrition perspective to where you're just looking at RDA. So let's review. This is a very important summary because, as you can see, a healthy gut involves many more things than just eating well. A healthy gut has these 4 steps. Remove is the first step. toxins, gluten, dairy, sugar, processed foods, unhealthy skin products. Replace digestive enzymes. Vitamin D, we did not talk about this, but vitamin D is very important to our overall health, knowing what the blood value is and making sure you're getting enough vitamin D in supplement form, high quality supplement form, to get that blood level up. And of course, replace your skincare products with healthy skincare products, because the largest organ of our body, the skin, what we put on our skin, gets absorbed in our body, which our gut then has to process. Restore our microbiome, re-inoculate microbiome, restore immune and liver health. Probiotics re-inoculate, prebiotics feed the microbiome, and vitamin D. And repair and reset. So good, high quality, pharmaceutical grade nutrients, good quality sleep, stress management, because the hormone cortisol is very damaging to the gut. And last but not least, making sure you have a good blood sugar balance. And there's many ways to do that. A good health coach can guide you in that direction. So I hope that this has been a very insightful and helpful 4 keys to a healthy gut, giving you great information to take and apply. So good.